Welcome back. I really hope you like shutouts. If you don't like shutouts, this is not going to be the recap video for all you fine people. And I've been looking up different synonyms for, so they were reviews last year, this year they're recaps. I'm going to call them something next year. I like rundown. Rundown's good. So, sounds all serious and stuff. Speaking of serious, the Buffalo Sabres at home against Philadelphia tonight. The Flyers playing tonight like they did early in the season. Tortorella has him back playing the right way, and Ersson really showing that the coach's faith in him is well placed. So it's Ersson versus Anderson in this one. Good flow early. The first whistle wasn't until the 128 mark. Good chances at both ends. Not that there was a lot of shots. But then McEwen scores at 2:04 from Brown and Delorier. That one goes through Anderson. It was the second shot on net. Anderson would have a good night, but the McEwen one he might want back. Not that it ends up mattering. Flyers then press for another. The Sabres were flat. The Flyers in complete and total control at this point, and the Flyers controlled large swaths of this game, really. Shots are 5-0 at 5.5 minutes. So the Sabres definitely did not start on time. We get a power play for Philadelphia. That leads to a shorthanded 2-on-1. Cousins with a near miss there. Krebs is robbed on a break out of the box. Flyers then had a 2-on-1 that fizzled. And then there's Thompson with a near miss as the Sabres press. I think this was the best chance the Sabres had to really get on the board. And then it ends up going against them. There's a turnover, and then Farabee scores at 13:31 from Sanheim and Konechny. And then another turnover and a rebound buried. It's Cates from Konechny and Farabee at 14:58. Tippett then has a rush chance that deflects out. The Flyers were in total control after the 2-0 goal. Whatever the Buffalo Sabres had going on was over, and there was booing at the end of the first period. So, yeah, Sabres fans can't have been happy with that period. It was 3-0 Philadelphia. Second period, Cates has a net drive this block. There's an early power play for the Flyers. That was killed off. The Flyers press after. In fact, the shots are 5-1 Philly at 4.5 minutes. Flyers, heavy puck pressure as well. So whenever the Sabres had it, the Flyers were pushing for a turnover. Sabres press with 9 minutes left. It was the first momentum for the Sabres since that 1-0 lead that became 2-0. Flyers had a 4-on-2 that fizzles out, and then there's a near miss for Middlestad and Close. Sabres, their passes were getting picked off at this point. Ristolainen has a rush chance that's saved. I will say they talked about Ristolainen's contract, and when they said, well, at least Ristolainen is playing well defensively, that's what we've been told. I thought, well, that may or may not be from Flyers fans. Sabres are kept to the outside in the final minute. I'm not making any judgment. Just I think that's the first time I'd heard any praise towards Ristolainen this year. So after two periods, it's 3-0 Philly. Third period, there's a post for Skinner. Allison doesn't hit the post. He scores. He taps it in. Face-off win for Hayes gets to the net, and at 1:56, that makes it 4-0. Quinn then fires one wide. The Sabres would press. The ref gets knocked down. I think that was the loudest cheer from Buffalo Sabres fans on the night. Sabres press 6 minutes in. The Flyers, though, get a power play. That's killed off. Things get punchy with 6.5 minutes left. The Sabres get a power play. That's killed off. Bryson was denied after that was done. But your final score is 4-0 Philly. They go to 16-18-7 with the win. Buffalo 20-16-2 with the loss. They needed this one. This is one of those ones to make them back to bite them. If they end up missing the playoffs by only a couple of points, that's your game. Shots 16-5 Philly in the first, 13 apiece in the second, 10-9 Buffalo in the third. The final shots 38-28 Philadelphia. Power plays, the Flyers 0 for 3, Buffalo 0 for 1. The hits 16-8 for the Flyers. Ersson saves all 28 shots for his first career shutout. Anderson saves 34 out of 38 at the other end. I'm not going to put it on Anderson, but overall, Buffalo likely wishing for a much better effort and a better result than that one. All right, next up, Nashville in against Ottawa. I also might want to mention, if you were cheering for a home team, you're kind of screwed. So for LA fans, their game hasn't started yet. I'll be recapping that one when it's done. We'll see if they break the home team curse. You haven't even had a chance to cheer a goal yet if you cheered for a home team tonight. So it's Jones versus Talbot. Zub fires one wide as the Sens press. The shots are 3-2 in their favor at 3.5 minutes. Not indicative of how this game's going to go. Kelly was denied and close. The Preds cleared out. Then there's a near miss for DeBrincat on a press. Predators get a power play. There's a near miss for Duchesne. Good cycle. That power play's killed off. One shot allowed by the Sens there. Sens clear it. The shots are 5 apiece at the half. Sens get a power play. That's killed off. There was a press by Ottawa after it ends. And then a 2-on-1 on a turnover. And turnovers, man. Yossi scores from Niederreiter at 14:29. And then on a wraparound, it deflects off 2 players and into the net. Lauzon, the last one it deflected off of. Novak and Jeannot with the assists at 15:01. It was Jeannot that had the wraparound. So, yeah, that one deflects in. It's 2-0 Nashville. The Senators scored, but it was pretty obvious it was offside. Even in real time, you could tell it was offside. Forsberg fires one wide on a turnover. The Sens press with 1.5 minutes left, and then we get some pushing. Chabot fires one wide in the closing seconds. Things get punchy at the horn. Now, when they get really punchy at the horn, you end up starting the second period with 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and that's what happens here. Parsonen has a rush chance that's held. Hamonic then had an opportunity that was held as well. Preds get a power play. That's killed off. Jeannot then had a fight with Kastelik, so he had a fight and an assist. 2/3 of a Gordie Howe hat trick. Shots are 6-1 for Nashville, 6 minutes in. Preds weren't giving the Senators very much. Lauzon fans on a shot on a 3-on-1. Tkachuk has a rush chance that's saved. The Senators would draw a power play. DeBrincat's denied. Saros holds. That was killed off. Then there's a press by Nashville with 7 minutes left. Things get punchy after a hold by Saros. Niederreiter's denied on a 2-on-1. 2:54 left. The Preds get a power play. That's killed off. We're going to the third period with it still 2-0 in favor of Nashville. Sens get a power play early in the third. Sanderson has a shot that's blocked. Predators clear it. Brassard with a net drive. That's blocked out. That power play's killed off. And then immediately, Nashville goes to a power play. Yossi has a tip shot. That's held. The power play's killed off. Some shot blocking by the Sens there. And then Forsberg. It's a turnover, and it's in. Parsonen and McDonough with the assists at 7:29. Shortly thereafter, Ottawa gets a power play, now down 3-0. That was killed off. Some shot blocking by McDonough and the Preds there. 7:24 left. Lauzon takes what's his 4th penalty of the game. So Ottawa's power play wasn't very good, but Lauzon's ability to stay out of the box was worse. So that was killed off. Saros is just too good right now. I had to put it up there. I had to, didn't I? I had to. So goalie pull with 2:15 left, but they end up icing it, so the goalie has to go back in. They win the face-off. They get the goalie out again. There's a post for Chabot, but then with 31.8 seconds left, Ottawa figures, you know what, we'll shoot ourselves in the foot. They take another penalty, and that preserves the shutout. So your final score is 3-0 in favor of Nashville. They go to 19-14-6. Ottawa, 18-19-3. I only have 2 Tony the Tiger magnets for when a goaltender has a shutout. So I just wrote great with 3 R's right here because I can't draw Tony the Tiger. No, I can't. No, I'm not going to even try it. So the shots are 14-10 Ottawa in the first, 12-8 Nashville in the second, 16-13 Ottawa in the third. Final shots 38-35 for Ottawa. Power plays Nashville 0-4, Ottawa 0-5. The hits 23-21 Nashville. Saros saves all 38 shots for his 19th career shutout. Talbot saves 31 out of 34 at the other end. Talbot was good, but in the end they couldn't get a goal, and so Ottawa falls back below 500 yet again. Their inability to get above 500 is getting to be quite concerning. So, at any rate, that game done. Last game on this board, and of course there's another game getting started in about 10 minutes' time. Seattle in against the Montreal Canadiens. It's Jones versus Montembeault in this one. Early press by Seattle. In fact, 3 minutes in, the shots are 7-1. Now, the good news is you haven't allowed a goal on 7 shots. So you've got a chance to come back and maybe make it a game, right? Kraken press again at 6.5 minutes, and eventually they score. It's Tolvanen, who's fit in quite well in Seattle. From Dunn and Gord at 6:54. Kraken then get a power play. That's killed off. But the shots, once the power play's done, are up to 12-1. So just ridiculous. Kraken go right back to the power play. They score on this one at 10:01. It's Sprong, his 13th of the season, from Burakovsky and Beniers. I still don't understand why Sprong had to work so hard to get a contract. He's a goal scorer, and he showed that to Seattle last year. But at any rate, he's got a contract. He's playing quite well. So that power play goes in. It was a great pass by Burakovsky. It's a one-timer by Sprong. No chance for Montembeault, and it's 2-0. Kraken press for another. Dvorak then had a rush chance. That was saved. That was the second shot of the period for Montreal. And then done. On the 18th shot for Seattle, scores from Tolvanen and Gord at 14:20. The Habs still stuck at 2 shots. So that's how lopsided this was. The score was accurate. Slavkovsky's denied on a fast break. In the last minute, there's a press by the Kraken. They're up 3-0 after 1. Second period. Second periods were weird tonight. No scoring in second periods. Let's go through this one. Early press by the Habs. The shots are 4-1, though, for the Kraken at 3.5 minutes. Habs get a power play. Jones holds on to a Dvorak chance. Power play's killed off. The Habs get some pressure after. Kraken shot blocking. Good defense as well. Pezzetta has a shot that deflects out. There was a kick save on a Suzuki rush chance. The fans call one, the ref doesn't. That was the storyline in this one a few times. So Eberle has a net feed, that's blocked out. Burakovsky with a rush chance, that's held. There's a press by Seattle with 3.5 minutes left. Anderson then had a shot that was held as the Habs press back. 1:22 left. We get a 4-minute Kraken power play. And then things get punchy after a hold by Montembeault. So in the third period, the Habs finished that 4-minute kill. Felt important at the time. Caulfield then had a shot that was blocked. They get a little bit of a press. And on a rebound, there's a near miss for Caulfield there. The crowd keeps calling penalties. They called 2 in about 30 seconds. So when they didn't get the calls they wanted, they started informing the referee that in terms of his suckage, he's not at 0. He is closer to 100 than he is to 0. So you have to let him know he sucks. I'm surprised that they don't just start chanting like various names for vacuum cleaners because they do suck. And I think it would be just as easy to Hoover. No, just me. Just me. All right. Whoa, Dyson. No, all right. Never mind. All right, yeah, no, that you're right. That wouldn't work. Somebody in the crowd would be named Dyson. It'd get confusing. At any rate, the hitting's picking up at this point, too, because some of these hits that the fans don't like, well, the Habs don't like them either, especially Jackeye, who was prominent there. Slavkovsky can't bury one on a net drive. The Kraken get a power play. That's killed off. 7:48 left. The Kraken go back to the power play because that's what they do. Then there's 1:18 of 4-on-4. All's killed off there. Suzuki was denied. Jones holds on to that chance. Nick Suzuki isn't getting the offense right now. I agree. He's in a cold streak, but at least he's getting the chances at the net. Goalie pull with 3 minutes left. Eventually, that gives Beniers the chance to hit the empty net. Eberle with the assist at 18:47. And Habs fans boo them off the ice at the end of the game. Your final score is 4-0. Seattle goes to 23-12-4 with the win. Montreal 16-22-3 with the loss. The shots in this one, 19-6 Seattle in the first, 16-9 Seattle in the second. Both teams had 6 shots in the third. The final shot's 41-21 for Seattle. Power plays 1 for 6 for the Kraken, 0 for 2 for Montreal. Hits 25-15 Montreal. Jones saves all 21 for his 27th career shutout. It's the night of shutouts. Montembeault 37 saves on 40 shots. And now we'll get to the work of watching Edmonton and LA, and we'll see if a home team gets a goal in that one because there was nothing in 9 periods for home teams tonight. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.